Hello and welcome back. I hope you're staying cool out there. As I'm recording this episode, it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit where I live. Please be safe. Today I want to talk about something that keeps many small business owners up at night: finding and keeping good people. Let me start with a story that is actually a pretty common scenario. A few months ago, I was talking with Maria. Maria runs a small bakery. In a 6 weeks period, she lost her head baker, her morning shift manager, and a weekend counter associate. Not because of anything dramatic, just life happening. The baker got a better offer, a different part of the city. The manager's spouse got transferred for work, and the weekend associate decided to go back to school. And you know what really hit Maria hard? It wasn't just a scramble to replace them. It was everything else. The head baker took with him the knowledge of how to adjust recipes for humidity changes. The manager had built relationships with the main suppliers, and the weekend associate always remembered the regular customers' orders and made them feel special. Suddenly, Maria wasn't just short-staffed. She was dealing with recipe failures, confused customers, and a team that felt overwhelmed and demoralized. What started as a staffing problem became an operational crisis. If you're nodding along, you're not alone. This happens a lot. So stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about how to build a people-first culture that makes your business more resilient, your customers happier, and your life as a business owner a whole lot easier. Welcome to the Green Ledger, Tips for a Sustainable Small Business, your guide to building a profitable and sustainable small business. This is a show where making money meets making a difference. I'm Anka, your host. In each episode, I explore how resilience fuels business growth and success by applying strategies and tools that big companies use, but making them super practical for your business. Today's topic may not be on your priority list, but it is a vital entry in your Green Ledger. Let's dive in. Okay, so in the next 20 minutes, we're going to cover why small businesses actually have hidden advantages in attracting talent, the real cost of high turnover, and it's way more than you think, the 5 R's framework for building a strong team: right size, reach, retain, relate, and results. Red flags that signal talent problems before they become crises. Your 30, 60, 90-day action plan for improving your talent strategy. And 5 things you can do this week to start building a people-first culture. Let's start, and first I'll address this dangerous myth. We can't compete with big companies for talent because we can't match their benefit packages. In reality, small businesses have unique advantages that big companies can't match. You can offer things like direct impact, personal growth opportunities, flexibility, and genuine relationships that get lost in corporate bureaucracy. Trust me, I've worked in corporate and I've seen this firsthand. And I'm not talking bad about being a corporate employee. It can work great for some, but they can't offer what you offer. First, let's talk about why this matters so much for business resilience. When Maria lost 3 employees, the real cost wasn't just the recruitment and training expenses. Industry studies show that replacing an employee typically costs between 50 and 200% of their annual salary when you factor in recruitment, training, and lost productivity. But the hidden costs are even bigger. There's a knowledge that walks out the door, like the baker's understanding of recipe adjustments. There's a relationship capital lost, the supplier and customer connections that take months to rebuild, and there's an impact on the remaining team who now have to work harder while you're scrambling to fill gaps. And there's one thing that most business owners don't consider: the opportunity cost. When you're in constant firefighting mode, replacing people and retraining, you're not growing your business. You're not improving your operations. You're not building the sustainable, resilient business you set out to create. The good news is that when you get this right, when you build a stable, engaged team, it creates a positive cycle. Good employees attract other good employees, happy teams provide better customer service, consistent service builds customer loyalty, and loyal customers provide a stable revenue that lets you invest more in your business. You may be thinking, yes, I want that, but how do I do it? Well, I'll tell you right now. I'm going to share with you a framework I call the 5 R's of talent strategy. These are 5 areas where small businesses can compete and often win against larger companies. The first R, R1, is right size your expectations. The first mistake I see small businesses make is over specifying job requirements. They post job descriptions asking for 5 years of experience, a college degree, and expertise in 6 different software programs for an entry-level position. When you do this, you eliminate great candidates who could learn quickly and grow with your company. Meanwhile, the people who do meet all these requirements, they're probably overqualified and will leave as soon as something better comes along. What to do instead? Focus on core competencies and cultural fit. What does someone really need to succeed in this role? Usually, it's problem-solving ability, willingness to learn, and alignment with your values. Skills can be taught. Attitude is much harder to change. I know a small manufacturer who was struggling to find a production coordinator. They had a list of requirements a mile long. When they stripped it down to the essentials, attention to detail, ability to communicate clearly, and comfort with technology, they found a great candidate who had restaurant management experience. Different industry, but the core skills transferred perfectly. This week's action item for this R is to pick one job description and remove any requirements that aren't absolutely essential. Ask yourself, could someone learn this on the job if they had the right foundation? The second R, R2, is reach beyond traditional channels. You may be inclined to post a job online and hope the right person finds it. That's like throwing a message in a bottle into the ocean and expecting it to reach exactly the right person. Instead, try to leverage your existing networks. Your best hires often come through referrals from your current employees, customers, or suppliers. Create a simple referral program. It doesn't have to be fancy. Maybe it's a small bonus for successful referrals or just recognition for team members who help you get a great candidate. Look for partnerships with local schools, community colleges, or training programs. I met a small retail chain owner who partners with local community college. They offer internships and often hire their best interns full-time. It's a pipeline of trained, motivated candidates who already understand their culture. Consider remote or flexible arrangements where possible. Not every role needs to be in person all the time. Being flexible about work arrangements can dramatically expand your candidate pool. And don't underestimate community connections. Join local business organizations, attend Chamber of Commerce events, and participate in community activities. The person you meet at a volunteer event might become your next great hire. This week's action: identify one new channel for finding candidates. Maybe it's reaching out to a local school, or asking your best employee for referrals, or joining one professional organization. Okay, we got to number 3, R3, which is retain through recognition. While compensation matters, studies consistently show that people leave managers and companies, not jobs. They leave because they don't feel valued, don't see growth opportunities, and don't feel connected to the work. Recognition doesn't have to cost a lot. It can be as simple as acknowledging good work publicly, giving people challenging projects, or asking for their input on business decisions. People want to feel like they matter. You can create clear growth paths even in small businesses. This might mean cross-training opportunities, taking on additional responsibilities, or supporting external learning. A bakery I know sends their staff to specialized baking workshops and then features Leo's new sourdough technique on their social media. The employee feels valued and grows professionally, and the business benefits from new skills and marketing content. This week's action: implement one simple recognition practice. Maybe it's a weekly team shout-out, or featuring an employee story in your newsletter, or just making sure you say thank you specifically for good work. R4 is relate through culture. People stay for relationships. They stay because they feel connected to their teammates, to you as the owner, and to the mission of the business. This means creating psychological safety, an environment where people feel comfortable asking questions, making mistakes, and bringing their authentic selves to work. In small businesses, you have an advantage here because you can create genuine personal relationships in ways that big companies can't. Regular check-ins are crucial, and I don't mean annual performance reviews. I mean every couple of weeks, have a 15-minute conversation where you ask, how are things going? What's working well? What's frustrating you? What would help you do your job better? Team building doesn't have to be expensive. It can be as simple as celebrating birthdays, having lunch together occasionally, or taking 10 minutes at team meetings for people to share something good that happened to them recently. Share your story and your why. Help people understand not just what you do, but why you do it. When people feel connected to the mission, they're more likely to stick around through challenging times. This week's action: schedule a 15-minute check-in with each team member. Ask them one question. What's one thing we could change that would make your job better or more meaningful? And the last R, R5, is results through development. Invest in your people's growth. This doesn't mean expensive training programs. It can be as simple as cross-training, so people can learn new skills and provide backup for each other. Create informal mentorship by pairing experienced employees with newer ones. Support external learning. Maybe you pay for an online course, or give people time off to attend workshops, or reimburse professional association memberships. Document your processes so that knowledge doesn't walk out the door when someone leaves. But involve your team in creating these documents. Ask them to write down their tips and tricks. This helps with knowledge retention and makes people feel valued for their expertise. Set development goals for each person. Even if it's a simple, over the next 6 months, Sarah wants to learn inventory management, and Jose wants to develop his leadership skills. Then check in regularly and support their progress. This week's action: ask each team member what they'd like to learn or get better at. Pick one person and one skill to start with. What about red flags? Here are some warning signs that can indicate talent problems in early stages. The first one is watch for changes in engagement. People who used to participate in meetings become quiet. Employees who used to take initiative start doing the bare minimum. Another one is pay attention to attendance patterns. Increased sick days, more tardiness, frequent requests for time off. This can indicate disengagement before someone actually quits. Another one is listen to what people say and how they say it. More complaints, less collaboration, negative comments about the business or customers. And lastly, quality issues can also be indicators. When good employees start making more mistakes or missing deadlines, it's often because they're mentally checked out. And this is not a warning sign, but an important step to help you learn about potential issues, the exit interviews. They don't need to be formal. Even informal ones work just fine and maybe even better. Ask people why they're leaving. Look for patterns. If 3 people leave because they feel micromanaged, That's feedback you need to act on. Okay, let's talk now about your 30, 60, 90 day action plan. How to get started. The first 30 days. Assess your current team. Who are your key players? What are their goals? Have those check-in conversations I mentioned. Review your job descriptions and remove unnecessary barriers. For 60 days, start building systems. Create a simple development plan for each person. Establish a referral program. Document key processes so you're not dependent on any single person. And for 90 days, evaluate your hiring practices and company culture. Are you attracting the right people? Are you creating an environment where people want to stay? Plan for continuity. Who could step up if key people leave? Okay, we're almost to the end of the show, so let's recap. In this episode, we learned about Maria's story when 3 of her employees left their roles and the impact this had on her, the rest of her team, and the business. We talked about the 5 R's framework, the 5 R's of talent strategy that will help you build a people-first culture. These are R1, right-size your expectations. R2, reach beyond traditional channels. R3, retain through recognition. R4, relate through culture. And R5, results through development. Then we talked about red flags that could signal problems in early stages, like changes in the engagement, attendance patterns, increase in negative comments, and decrease in quality work. And finally, I provided a 30, 60, 90 days action plan to help you get started. And if you want to start now, go for it, right? Let me give you 5 specific things you can do this week. 1. Have one meaningful conversation with each team member about their goals and frustrations. Review one job description and remove requirements that aren't essential. 3. Implement one simple recognition practice, maybe a weekly team shout-out. 4. Document one critical process that only one person knows. And 5. Set up a simple referral system, even if it's just asking your best employee to recommend people they'd like to work with. Remember Maria from our opening story? 6 months later, she tells a different story. She implemented many of these practices, simplifying her hiring requirements, created cross-training programs, and started having regular check-ins with her team. When her current head baker decided to cut back to part-time, Maria was ready. 2 team members had learned key skills, they had processes documented, and the transition was smooth. Building a people-first culture isn't just about being nice, it's about building resilience into your business. When you invest in your people, they invest in your success. And you know what else can build resilience? One word: community. I'll start working on my next episode soon, and episode 8 is called Stronger Together, Serving Your Community and Your Customers. We'll explore how building strong relationships outside your business creates a foundation that supports everything inside it. Until then, remember, your people are your greatest asset, but only if you treat them that way. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Green Ledger Tips for a Sustainable Small Business. I'm Anka, and I hope you'll mark today's topic in your Green Ledger and let it inspire fresh ideas to make your business sustainable. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share the podcast with other small business owners who want to build a profitable and resilient business. I love growing this community of like-minded, forward-thinking, responsible small business owners. If you want to be notified when I post on my blog or create a free tool, please sign up to my blog. I'll share details in the show notes. Also, if you want to connect with me directly, I put my contact info in the show notes as well. I love to hear from you. That's it for today. Join me next time for more practical tips to help your business thrive. Until then, stay resilient, stay prepared.